Welcome to Lesson 16, Buying Food for a Picnic. In this lesson, we'll focus on the use of variables, conditional expressions, and operators. As previous programming experience, students are expected to be able to add text for sprites, to show and hide sprites, to use operators, variables, to use string concatenation, and also to use conditional expressions. General learning outcomes relate with the use of variables, the use of conditional expressions and operators, and as specific learning outcomes, students will use variables for setting price for different sprites. Students will change variables values since the budget changes when the player buys food. Students will use statements to check the availability of enough money. Students will use operators for joining text and the value of the variables. Student will use operators for comparing prices and budget. Student will use operators to change the value of a variable. This lesson is planned to take about 45 minutes. It will take place individually or in pairs, and it's based on active learning, game design based learning, and problem solving pedagogical approaches. So in this lesson, we are helping this girl to buy food for a picnic. If we mouse over the sprite of the girl, she tells us how much money she has left. And if we mouse over each individual object or food, we know how much it costs. And if we want to buy one of these items, then we click on the item. So we can click and buy it. And also some of the food is healthy, some of the food is unhealthy. So when we do finish, the girl tells us how many healthy and unhealthy food we have bought, how much money we were left with. You can download the complete scenario, the complete game here on the link that is provided on the PowerPoint. Now we are going to explain the code that we have already generated for this problem. We start with the script associated with the girl, and you can see that when the green flag is clicked, what we do is create and set three variables. We have the budget variable, which represents the amount of money that the girl has, and we initialize it with the 15. So this corresponds to 15 euros. And then we have two variables. One indicates healthy food and another indicates unhealthy food. So the idea is whenever we click on an item, it will be either healthy or unhealthy, and that value is going to be increased. And when we start, there are two messages, one for hello and another explaining what we are going to do. So starting up, when the green flag is clicked, this is what's going to happen, the initialization of the variables and the initial messages. And then we have a control block. When the mouse enters, so there is a mouse over, that is the cursor is over the avatar of the girl, then what we have here is a say, so message is printing. And this message combines several things. Combines a text you have, combines the value of the budget variable, and again some text. So you have here the operator join that allows you to combine text, a variable value, and text again. And you can add more variables, more text. If we look at the script associated with food, then what we have here, when we click the green flag, it shows the watermelon and sets the watermelon price, in this case, to the value. Same for the other food items. So when we start to initialize the value or cost of that food, and that cost is associated with a certain variable that is defined when we define and initialize when we click the green flag. Also, when there is the event of mouse over, so when the mouse or the cursor enters the area of the sprite, there's a message printing the watermelon costs and the value of this variable. So we are again using the join operator to combine some text, combine the value of a variable, and again text. Then we have the event related with the click, which indicates that we want to buy, or the user wants to buy that item. So we verify if there is enough money still to buy these items. So we check if the watermelon price is bigger than current budget. If that is true, that means that the girl doesn't have enough money to buy this item. So we print, you don't have enough money. Otherwise, else, then this means we still have the money, or the girl still has money to pay for this item of food. So what we are going to do is reduce the amount of the cost of this food item from the budget. So budget, our variable, will have the previous value minus the food item cost. Also, because the watermelon is healthy food, we increase the value, the healthy food, by 1. If we now look at the fries, which are unhealthy food, the algorithm is exactly the same, but the difference is that now we change unhealthy food by 1. So this is an healthy food item. And when we finish, when we press the finish, what happens is there is a message that is broadcasted. A message is a way of communicating between different sprites and background. And this message called finish is broadcasted. And if we go back to the sprite corresponding to the girl, then we can see that when this message is received by the sprite, which corresponds basically to finishing, then there's this message. The message joins some text. So this text is you shows healthy food, healthy products, and unhealthy food, unhealthy products. So the result is that we are combining the words you shows with the amount or the value of the variable healthy food and healthy products. So for instance, if healthy food is 2, then the message will say you shows 2 healthy products, and the same for unhealthy food. As final remark, please remember that students can be more motivated if you provide a context to the game they are developing. So for instance, in this case, you can present this example as a girl that is in a grocery is buying food for a picnic, and she can only buy food up to the money she has, which is 15 euros. In the end, the game tells her how many healthy and unhealthy products she bought. As you know, that you can have more information on the examples and lessons on the project website at codingforgirls.eu, and also you have access to the whole activity in Snap if you follow that link. Students will have a guide for their operation, for their work, and instructions file. Enjoy!